Before the Colosseum existed, Rome was already a restless empire. Millions of people lived under Roman rule across vast territories. The city of Rome concentrated power, wealth, and inequality. While the elite lived surrounded by luxury, most depended on state favors. Keeping the population occupied was a political necessity, and entertainment became a weapon. Rome quickly understood that crowds needed more than bread. They needed distraction, emotion, and spectacle. Public games existed long before the Colosseum. They were held in improvised forums, temporary arenas, and open squares. Fights, executions, and violent reenactments drew massive audiences. Blood maintained order. These spectacles were not mere entertainment. They were a language of power. There the state showed who ruled and who obeyed. Human life became a disposable resource. Suffering was normalized as part of culture. Rome learned to govern through fear disguised as celebration. As the empire expanded, the games had to grow as well. The city demanded something greater, permanent, monumental. Our structure capable of holding crowds and sending a clear message. Rome did not want only to entertain, it wanted to impress and to dominate. The Colosseum did not yet exist, but its idea was already formed. It would be born from the need for control, from political ambition, and from the certainty that spectacle could keep an empire obedient. The Colosseum was born as a calculated political gesture. After years of instability and imperial excess, Rome needed a new symbol. Emperor Vespasian understood this clearly. He would not rule only with laws or armies. He would rule with image, and the Colosseum would be that image. Construction began over an artificial lake that once belonged to Nero. Airspace that had symbolized personal luxury would be returned to the people. This choice was not accidental. It was propaganda carved in stone. Rome showed that the emperor served the city. Even as he consolidated absolute power, thousands of workers were mobilized. Prisoners of war, slaves, and anonymous laborers. Massive blocks of travertine were cut, transported, and fitted with precision. Without modern machines, without protection, the human cost of the construction was enormous yet invisible. The Colosseum was designed to impress. Monumental architecture, multiple entrances, efficient circulation, everything built to control crowds, not merely to host them. The arena was not just a building, it was a political instrument. When it was completed, Rome gained more than an amphitheater. It gained a permanent stage of power. There the emperor would be seen, the people would be entertained, and social order would be reaffirmed. The spectacle was ready to begin. Inside the Colosseum, violence became organized spectacle. Thousands filled the stands from early morning. The goal was not merely to watch. It was to participate emotionally. The arena turned death into public entertainment, and Rome applauded. Gladiators were not free heroes. Most were slaves, prisoners of war, or the condemned, trained to fight, injure, and die before the crowd. Each combat followed clear rules, but mercy was rarely guaranteed. Life depended on performance. The crowd held power. Gestures, shouts, and silence influenced decisions. The thumb alone did not decide. The atmosphere of the arena did. The emperor watched and authorized the final fate. Not all deaths were combat. Public executions served as punishment and warning. Criminals, prisoners, and enemies of the state were thrown into the arena. Wild animals completed the spectacle. Fear educated, and order was reinforced. In the Colosseum, death did not shock. It instructed. It taught who ruled, who obeyed, and how much a life was worth under the empire. Blood held Rome together. The Colosseum was not merely a place of spectacle, it was a tool of social control. There, tens of thousands were gathered in a single space, organized by class, status, and proximity to power. Every seat reinforced the empire's hierarchy. Nothing was accidental. The people received free entertainment. In exchange, they offered political silence. While the arena was full, the streets remained calm. The suffering of others distracted from personal hardship, fear was shared, and obedience was reinforced. The crowd learned by watching. They learned what happened to those who challenged Rome, to those who broke laws, to those who lost their usefulness. Punishment was public, and the lesson was collective. The emperor understood mass psychology. By appearing in the Colosseum, he became visible, present, and absolute. He did not need speeches. The spectacle spoke for him. The arena turned power into emotion, and emotion into loyalty. Thus Rome ruled not only with soldiers, but with images, rituals, and fear. The Colosseum stood at the center of this strategy, a stage where violence educated, and the crowd learned obedience without realizing it. Behind the spectacle, there was an immense human cost. The Colosseum was not sustained by applause alone. It was sustained by disposable bodies. Gladiators, prisoners, slaves, and the condemned. Lives turned into entertainment, lives without choice. Gladiators trained under extreme conditions. They lived isolated under constant surveillance. Some became famous, but fame did not guarantee freedom. Each fight could be the last. Survival depended on the crowd. Many who died in the arena had no recorded names. They were not remembered. They left no written histories. Their purpose was to serve as an example, to display the power of the state, and then vanish. Animals were also part of the cost. Thousands were captured and killed. Lions, tigers, elephants, and bears. Transported from distant regions of the empire, nature itself was dominated and displayed as a trophy. In the Colosseum, life had value only while it served the spectacle. When it ceased to entertain, it was eliminated. Blood was not an accident, it was part of the system, a silent price paid to keep Rome united and obedient. Over time, the spectacle began to lose its strength. Rome was no longer the same. Economic crises, political instability, and external pressures weakened the empire. Maintaining grand games became too costly, and the enthusiasm of the crowd began to fade. Blood no longer guaranteed order. Cultural changes also advanced. New beliefs questioned public violence. Christianity, once persecuted, gained influence. The idea of death as entertainment began to be challenged. The arena, once a symbol of power, started to cause discomfort. Rome was slowly changing. Emperors reduced the frequency of the games. Some limited them. Others tried to preserve them out of tradition. But the Colosseum no longer occupied the center of public life. The spectacle lost its main political function, and without function, it lost support. Without proper maintenance, the structure began to decay. Earthquakes and fires damaged parts of the amphitheater. The Colosseum became an irregular space, used occasionally without its former glory. Silence began to replace applause, and the end approached. The Colosseum did not fall all at once. It was abandoned gradually, just like the empire that built it. What once controlled the masses now witnessed decline. The arena of blood became a ruin, and the spectacle came to an end. After the great spectacles ended, the Colosseum entered a long silence. Without political function, maintenance, or audience, the arena lost its central role. Rome changed, new priorities emerged, and the amphitheater was left behind. The monument began to age alone. Earthquakes struck the city over the centuries. Parts of the Colosseum collapsed. Arches fell, stones loosened. What once symbolized power began to look like a ruin, and no one stopped it. During the Middle Ages, the Colosseum was reused, not as an arena, but as shelter, workshop, and even an improvised fortress. Families lived within its walls. The monument was fragmented. Its original meaning faded. Stones from the Colosseum were removed for other constructions. Palaces, churches, and homes absorbed parts of the arena. The blood of the past gave way to practical forgetting. The Colosseum became a convenient quarry, a resource, not a memory. Rome recycled its own symbol. For centuries, the Colosseum remained wounded and incomplete. It survived not by care but by chance. As empires rose and fell, it remained, silent, marked by time, waiting to be remembered again. Over the centuries, the Colosseum ceased to be a stage of violence, but it never ceased to be a symbol. Its image crossed time, surviving empires, wars, and deep cultural changes. What was built to control crowds became collective memory. The Colosseum came to represent Rome to the world, not only its architectural greatness, but also its deepest contradictions. It is admired as an engineering marvel, yet it carries marks of human suffering. Beauty and brutality coexist in its stone. Throughout modern history, the monument was redefined, from forgotten ruin to protected heritage, tourist symbol, cultural icon, universal reference. Millions walk where screams once echoed. Now, in respectful silence, the gaze has changed. The Colosseum also became a place of reflection, a reminder of how power shapes culture, of how entertainment can be used as domination, and how societies normalize violence when it becomes ritual. The past is not distant, it watches. The Colosseum still stands, not as a celebration of blood, but as a witness to human history, a warning carved in stone. That civilizations may reach greatness and still pay an immeasurable human cost. The Colosseum is not merely an ancient ruin, it is a mirror, reflecting humanity's ability to create greatness while normalizing violence. It was built as a symbol of absolute power and sustained by invisible suffering. Rome believed spectacle guaranteed order. That fear controlled the masses. That life could be traded for stability. For centuries that logic worked, but the empire fell, and the Colosseum remained. Today, we admire its form, proportions, and engineering, but rarely remember the voices that once echoed there. The screams, forced choices, and human cost. The monument survived, the lives did not. That is the contradiction it carries. The Colosseum asks us in silence how far societies go to maintain power, which forms of violence are accepted when applauded, and how many stories are erased so great symbols can stand. The question is not only about Rome. The Colosseum is still there, watching, not as a celebration of the past, but as a permanent warning. Because as long as spectacle exists without empathy, the arena is never truly empty.